Hey everybody, welcome to the Purple Tiger Fibers podcast. If you're new here, I'm your host Shay. I'm coming to you from New England, and it is firmly winter here. Today's video is going to be a little bit of a mashup. It's probably going to be a quicker one. Since it isn't January, I spent the bulk of my December and a little bit of November making gift knits, and I have some new babies coming in my friends and family, and I've been working on some knits for them. So I'm not going to share with you that stuff because obviously most of it's already gone to its new home, but I do have a couple of, I have one finished object and a whip to show you, as well as kind of a sample of what I've been working on. And I'm going to share with you my goals for the knitting season for 2024. And I'm going to start with that. So I have my little trusty notebook here, and I've written down 5 goals that I'm going to be working towards or just casually working on through the 2024 year. So my number one, and these aren't in any particular order, is going to be making pieces that are more functional and wearable for everyday use on a daily basis, because we were afraid to ruin it, or the yarn was expensive, and we just don't want anything to happen to it. So that being said, I think I'm going to try to be less precious with the pieces that I make in the future, and I want to have pieces that are made really well and made to last, and that I can reach for year after year in my wardrobe. I would like to make pieces that are on the timeless side. Not saying that I don't want to make some pieces that are more fun or moving in towards a trend direction specifically. Trends do cycle over and over and over again. So eventually, whatever you make, even if it is a trend, it'll probably come back around. But even if it is a trend, I do want to make pieces that I want to wear year after year, even if that thing is not on trend, or if it is on trend this year and it won't be next year, and I still like it. So that is my number one. My number two, I've already kind of gotten started on a little bit, and if you follow me on Instagram, you might have already seen this. I will leave my Instagram either here or down below, both. If you want to follow me there, I post more regularly on Instagram. But my number two is colorwork. I would love to learn how to knit colorwork. I have a goal of knitting colorwork for the year. And like I said, I've already started. I have a couple of pieces that I've been playing with. I've been doing it in the round. So I had some inspiration that I had posted on my, I had made a Pinterest board and kind of gathered some inspiration there, and I have been kind of freehanding it, to be honest. I've never made a sweater in a round, and like a yoke sweater, and I didn't know how to do that pattern, but I decided I'm gonna try to figure it out. I didn't use a pattern, and I kind of played with it until I got something I liked, and same thing for the motifs. I decided that I could probably figure out how to make some sort of a design that I liked. So I ended up with kind of a sampler, because I started out working my piece bottom up. I generally am a person who makes things on straight needles and seams things. I am not super familiar with the constructions of knitting in the round. So I am knitting in the round, but I'm knitting bottom up. So this is what I kind of came up with, and I got right up to where I wanted to start my sleeve section, and I tried to figure out how to get sleeves to attach to this in a way that wasn't weird. And I tried 3 or 4 times and I couldn't figure it out. So I got frustrated with it and I gave up. And I have this hunk of yarn that is full of pretty motifs that I'm not sure what to do with yet. So I ended up using 2 reclaimed yarns for this. And I will go into a little bit more detail because I did end up making a second sweater and I figured it out. So I'm going to put this aside for now, but that's proof that I have started making progress on this second goal already. And my third goal, if you can see me looking down, by the way, I'm just looking at my notes here. So my third goal is I would like to learn how to knit socks in the round, or on magic loop, or on double pointed needles, whatever way is going to be to get me a circle. Because I did try, if you've seen my other video that I posted for the first of the year of all the things that I made this year, I did talk about one pair of socks that I used a straight needle pattern to make, and you do have to seam it up the edge, like up the, like from the heel and up the sock, up the back. And while that is completely doable and it creates a sock that's fairly comfortable, I would like to learn how to do socks the right way with a turn heel or a fish lips kiss heel or whatever other kind of heel I think is going to be good for my foot. I would love to know, if you're a sock knitter, what kind of sock patterns you think are easy, maybe a free pattern that I could try just to kind of dip my feet in. I really love socks, and it's one of those things that I've always wanted to make, and for whatever reason, it just has never clicked in my brain how to make socks. I don't know why. I've tried before. I just can't figure it out. But can't is not a word I'm going to be using in the future when it comes to this. I really want to try to change my vocabulary for the new year and learn new things. So that is my number 3. My number 4 is kind of a no-brainer. It is going to be posting more regularly to YouTube. I have made this channel and I have a handful of videos already on it, but I know that consistency is important when you're trying to create a channel that has traction, and I really, really want to have a channel that I can share with more of an audience. I really would like to have more of a community within the knitting community. It seems like a really great place to be, and I really, really want to try to build up and kind of insert myself into the knitting community. I have been knitting for a really long time, and I had no idea up until recently that there was such a big knitting community online. I don't know why I didn't know this. I didn't think of it before or something, but I would really, really love to kind of become more active within the community, and sharing more videos is definitely part of that. So goal number 5 for the year is I would like to release a pattern. I would like to write and make a pattern that I can release to share with you guys. So I really want to have a size inclusive pattern that goes a variation of sizes. I would like everybody to be able to knit my pieces, and I want to make sure that I am creating pieces that are wearable for everybody. So I have challenged myself to creating one pattern that I can at least release this year. So I will be working on that. Maybe I'll post a video in the future where I have you guys help me decide which pattern I should release. Maybe I can gather a couple that I've been thinking about and then have you guys vote and see which one you would like me to release. That might be fun. So that is my 5 goals for 2024, and I think that they're completely doable. I didn't want to give myself too many goals. I have some personal ones and some more lifestyle goals that I've been kind of thinking about and working towards for the new year. So I wanted to give myself a smaller amount within my my hobby or my knitting to be able to reach. So let's go back to this colorwork piece. So I didn't tell you what the yarn was, and I am going to tell you now, sort of. So I have been reworking old sweaters that have holes or are out of date, or sweaters that I've saved from the Goodwill outlet that are gonna go into the trash, and the yarn is good, the fiber is good. So this particular piece I worked up in, this white yarn is a blend of wool, acrylic, and I think a little bit of alpaca. And it was just a cream sweater. It was pretty soft, and I really liked the fabric, but I wasn't wearing the sweater. It was from my own closet, and I was like, you know what? I like that color. I'm just gonna see if I can do something else with it. And the green in here, I have a ball of because it's hard to see. This is actually a mix of 4 different sweaters. So I took apart 4 different sweaters that had like tiny, tiny lace weight strands of yarn. And a lot of those machine knit sweaters have really, really small gauge yarn. And so this piece has 2 strands of merino, 1 strand of cashmere, and I think the 4th strand is actually merino as well. So there were 4 different kinds of greens. I tried to show you a second ago. I don't know if you can pick it up on the camera. There's quite a bit of variation, but it works up to be this really pretty kind of mixed color here. I don't know what you would call that. So this is what I ended up with in my first try. And it was a lot easier than I thought it was. Let's discuss my floats on the back here. I didn't do any floats that were longer than 4. It doesn't look terrible. I had a little bit of tension problem here with these like cross motifs, but I believe that it's more or less because the white yarn is slightly thicker than the green yarn, and that's more of a gauge issue than a tension problem. So this is my first attempt, and I do have a finished object in the same yarns that is completely wearable and does have color work. So that would be this guy. I took all that, half of that apart, and decided I was going to try again with a top-down approach. So this is worked as a yoke sweater would be worked from the top down. And then the sleeves are worked in circular, they were actually worked in double pointed needles because I don't have a small enough circular needle. So, but this came out really, really good, especially for a first try and not understanding before how to work color work or having any previous experience with working a yoke in the round like this. So overall, this came out really, really well. It is blocked and finished. I obviously went with a way more simple motif. I decided that the other one was a little busy for what I actually would probably wear, even though it was very pretty and fun to do. This one ended up being really, really comfortable. It has a nice, like, slightly wide neckline, so I can wear it with like a tank top underneath, and then you can see like the colored strap. I like that look. And yeah, I have no name for it, but I probably will in the future. I actually didn't write down any of what I did for this pattern at all. Yeah, so I will have to like backtrack completely if I do want to eventually make another one that's exactly the same. But you know, it's a pretty straightforward construction to do a circular yoke. You just have to kind of figure out how you want to do your increases and where you want the piece to kind of sit on like this part of your body to attach the sleeves. So that is my finished object. I have one object on the needles, which, surprise, surprise, is another colorwork piece because I immediately was like, wow, I really like doing this. So I wanted to create another piece. And this one's kind of a mess right now because it has a ton of dog hair on it. I don't know if you have pets, but I struggle terribly with dog hair all over my yarn all the time, no matter what I do. But this piece is looking really good so far. I am really excited to finish it and wear it. And yeah, this again is completely from scratch. I haven't followed any patterns. I used a couple of different kinds of yarn so far. If you watched my first or second ever podcast episode, this yarn here is Quince & Co. Ibis. It is a wool and mohair blend, and originally it was another sweater. I wasn't wearing the sweater. I took it apart and decided I wanted to make something that I could wear because I really, really love the color of this yarn. So, and I think the Quince & Co. Ibis, I think it's discontinued. I tried to look on the website to see if I could find it again, and I haven't found it. So it looks kind of weird. Obviously, the sleeves are half done on both sides, and the body is not finished either. That is because I am playing yarn chicken. I am using several different yarns. Obviously, I mentioned the Quince & Co. Ibis. This is a wool blend. I believe it's Quince & Co. as well. All of these yarns are thrifted, so I don't have like a terrible amount of information on them. The white is the same white from the other sweater. I had more of it left over, so that's an upcycled yarn. I have a tiny bit of acrylic green in here, which you probably can't see. It's like really similar color. And that is a Lion brand 1 pound yarn, 100% acrylic. And I have another Lion brand 1 pound, 100% acrylic in the lighter brown. This is the white again, and I have this really pretty like natural brown wool that I had thrifted. That's in the little tiny pieces here. And I really want to get some more of whatever this is or something similar in this color to make a completely brown sweater. I love this color so much. And obviously the green is on the bottom, but I am going to be doing another, like a continuation of the motif on the bottom hem, and I am going to be doing some on the sleeves as well because I do not have enough green to do 2 full sleeves and then the rest of my body. And I don't want to crop it accidentally too short because I really want to make this wearable. I know that it's going to grow some. It's probably going to grow a considerable amount, to be honest. But I want something that I'm going to be able to reach for year after year. This is a bulky weight yarn, so it's nice and thick, and inside here is a little bit messy. I had some strands that I cut, and I have some floats that I probably should have caught. I have a couple like 5 stitch floats, and then I realized it and I started to catch them. So it's overall, it's a learning process. Again, I'm not working from a pattern. I'm just kind of making this up as I go. So I'm really excited though to get this finished and to wear it. So that is my work in progress and my whip so far. I'm sure that I will be casting more stuff on this week. I have lots and lots of ideas for the new year, but that's what I have so far. And then lastly, I have some acquisitions. These are actually gifts from my boyfriend for Christmas, and I want to share them because I think he did a really great job and they're really pretty. So starting off, I have 1 skein of this Woolly Ease Quick and Thick, or Thick and Quick rather, by Lion brand, and that is in the color Kale, which I think is really cute. And what is the blend? So it is 77% acrylic, 20% wool, and 3% viscose. It's super soft, and it has this kind of like speckling within the yarn. He only got me 1 skein because he didn't know how much I would need to make whatever I wanted. He just wanted to pick me out something. So I probably will go back. I think he got this from Joann's Fabric. I will probably go back and get some more so that I can make a sweater or a vest or something. It's really, really cozy, and I love the color. Next, he got me this beautiful book for my notes, and I haven't written anything in it yet. It has this like beautiful, like variated pages. I really think it's very pretty, and it is a tooled leather. Well, it looks like a tooled leather. It might not be real leather. I don't actually know. It looks like it is, but it has this beautiful sun and moon motif on it. I had pointed it out to him in the bookstore a while ago, and he remembered, and that was a really lovely gift. And then lastly, he bought me this beautiful yarn bowl. Now, I have never had a yarn bowl before, but I've always wanted one, and I have been using it already. It is by Premium Yarn Knit and Crochet. I have no idea, but I really love it, and I'm really happy with my gift. So that is everything I have to share with you guys today. Thank you so much for being here. If you made it to the end, leave a little yarn emoji down below in the comments, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!